Okay, Jim, there we go. Can you hear me all right?
Fantastic, I can.
All right. Well, Jim, thanks for being on this Skype call again. I think it's been a couple of years since we've done this, but I'll introduce you. This is James Coppins. He's the Vice President at Infinity Massage Chairs, and we've done a couple of interviews, other interviews in the past, and chit-chatted about things. And you guys have had a lot of things going on lately that beg conversation. Most notably, the new massage chair models that you've come out with, and it seems like you've come out with quite a few. But anyways, it's good to have you, Jim. Thanks for taking time again.
My pleasure, Doctor. It's good to see you.
I know you're busy. You still travel to China quite a bit?
It's funny you should ask. I just got back within the last week or two. I had a trip over.
Yeah, was it massage chair business related?
Yes, it was. That's, as you know, we're in other technologies, but the massage chair business by far is our primary concern at this point.
Yeah. Have you? Now you've had a number of models come out recently, and the ones that are. I mean, I wrote down a list. You've got the Infinity IT 8500 X3, which is a kind of an upgrade with the 3D roller technology from the 8500. You've come out with the Escape in the fourth quarter of last year, which I really like that chair for the $29.95 price point. We'll talk a little bit about it. And then, of course, the Evoke, which I don't know much about at all. I haven't even got on my website yet, but I know that's a new model. And then I noticed you have another one called the Presidential. And the only reason I know about this one is because I've received some phone calls about it. And I know that I think it's a Mattress Firm exclusive. So, but it's similar to the Iashi. Is that correct?
It is, yes. It has probably some appearances similar to the Iashi, but it is a PU covered chair, and it also has 3D capabilities.
Okay. Oh, it does. So it has the L track.
Correct.
And 3D roller capabilities. I know I didn't know. I don't think we have any chairs that have the 3D rollers with an L track. Are you going to be having anything come out for the rest of the retailers?
Doctor, you always ask excellent questions.
Well, I think 3D with L track is a great idea. I just haven't seen it yet.
It's in development. As you know, we put a lot of thought and work before we launch anything. We don't just throw models out the door every month. So it's in process. I really wouldn't want to give you a time frame, but okay. It's in the works.
Well, you know, we and when I mention this, it's not about the Iashi I would say this about, but some of the other models that we carry that are L tracks, they seem to have problems with the rollers, especially down in where the weight of the hips and the buttock are pushing down on the rollers. We seem to have trouble with some of the other models. I don't think we've had any problems with the Iashi in that respect. Have you found any particular issues that are unique to the 3D chairs? I'm not the 3D chairs, sorry, but the L track, the extended roller track chairs.
In regards to the base of the track, so to speak, the L piece of it, mm-hmm. I don't think again when we launch something, we're as close to 5.9s comfortable with the feature functionality of the product, and it's going to work and perform the way it's supposed to. So in our product set, no, we haven't had any issues with our L track models.
Well, that's good to know. Well, I know the Iashi is kind of like the grandfather of all brand-named L-track chairs, and I've been very happy with it as far as, I rarely get any negative feedback from my customers, if any, anymore. Maybe when it first came out, there was a couple of things, you iron out, but boy, it's been out for, I think, 2.5 years now, almost 3 years, and that chair has been a very, very, well, I gauge that based on what I hear back from customers. If I hear from customers saying so-and-so is not getting it fixed for me or whatever, then I know about it. But I never get calls about the Iashi. So that means two things. Number one, that you guys are taking care of the customers so they don't come to me. And number two, there may not even be problems with the roller track that anybody has to complain about. So that's a good thing.
Well, you obviously know that we pride ourselves on our support. But yeah. in particular, as far as the L track, the functionality probably is accurate, but there was that middle price range where we felt like we needed a product to fit the market. So again, it has the same reflexology roller system that the Escape has, which you obviously enjoy as a big positive. It's a zero gravity chair. It has a pretty good stretch to it. It has a very similar full feature auto program set like the Escape has. I really think if you got into your showroom, Doctor, you'd be thrilled with it. As you know, when we launched the 8100 a couple of years ago, I think we probably were a little bit premature with that product, and it wasn't. I don't think it met Infinity's standards. I think you'll be very happy with the Evoke. It has. It's very similar to what you would get from an 8500, maybe without not all the extra ancillaries as far as Bluetooth, music, etc. So it's a great product. We've been real happy with it. It's been very well received, and I think when you get in your showroom, you'll be thrilled with it.
Okay, and that's a lower price point, isn't it? Like $26.95 or $28.95 or something?
Correct.
Okay. Now, as far as what the future holds, what sorts of things are there any other projects you're working on? Anything that you can share? Any other technologies that you're looking at? I know the Japanese are always known as the quality, built with quality, but the Chinese are the ones that keep coming out with the cool ideas like the butt rollers and the foot rollers and the zero gravity and Bluetooth and all that business. Is there anything else that you see down the pipe? Maybe not with Infinity per se, but in the industry per se, anything that you see coming?
Definitely, there's a couple things coming. I'm not sure. I know what we're working on. I'm not sure how much I'd like to share.
That's all right.
You know, it's an extremely competitive industry. But there's, if you could create the perfect chair, there's probably things in the regular chair like the 8500 that you love. There's things in the Iashi that you love. So if you could create a wish list, so to speak, and jot down what your perfect chair would be, I think for you and I think for Infinity, that chair doesn't exist for us today.
Yeah.
But it's in development, so that kind of you know the different things of the features in each chair that you love. And our goal right now is to get to kind of take the entire product set and put that into one product. Yeah. And it's where we have some new things coming out, but that end game, the perfect chair, I'd call it, that doesn't exist today. We're probably 18 to 24 months away from it.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool. That's great. Now, you do a lot of some private labeling of the chairs. Like, for example, the Riage is for Brookstone, the Presidentials for the Mattress Firm Company. Any other private labels coming out? And of course, I'm not doing myself any favors by asking this because this, of course, it's not anything I can sell. But are there any other private labels that you'll be coming out with, or is that it for now?
There's potentially one more that we have in development that would be a private label product, but it's kind of a challenge to be all chairs to all channels. Mm-hmm. You know that one of our biggest concerns is to be able to provide top-rated support for our dealers and our end users. And the more diversified you become, our product set right now is maybe not as large as one or two organizations out there, but it's quickly becoming one of the largest. So we always want to make sure that we can support the product that we have in the field as we have done historically. So I think after this next launch, that's probably going to happen, if I had to guess, somewhere in Q4. I'm not sure in the next 12 months after that, after 2016, it's highly unlikely that we would do another private label chair. I would never say never. I mean, based on our name, doctor, we get approached. You're going to see our product in more and more places based on the quality, based on the brand, based on the support. And I'm not going to name other names, but we get approached on a regular basis for people that, one, want to carry our chairs, or two, want us to private label our chairs for them. So it's always a matter of being able to support what we currently have in the marketplace and not overextend ourselves. So I think for the time being, other than one that's kind of at the end of development, I'm not sure we take on anything else near term.
Yeah. You talk about the support, and you guys do have a great support, tech support department. Tell me what that consists of. I know you have a number of fellas or people that are in there working there. Tell me how your tech support department works. Tell me about its size and the logistics and whatnot.
Okay. Probably one of the biggest challenges when you start to have a diverse product set is the ability to have the parts in inventory. So, for example, a customer of yours calls and they have an issue with an Iashi. Many U.S. massage chair companies, I shouldn't say many, there's really only probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 that I consider legitimate, don't have the parts on hand. So they either have to, and I think you've seen it, they either have to go out and open up a brand new chair and take a part out of a brand new chair and cripple something that's in the inventory, or they have to request it from the manufacturer overseas, which, as you know, can take 2 to 3 weeks to have one air freighted to 8 to 12 weeks to have one shipped over on the next shipment. So we have we stock and house almost every single main wear and tear part on our entire product set. So if it's something that's going to break, we have it in stock. So when your customer calls, we can diagnose the issue. We can send out a support tech to diagnose the issue and normally have the part on the way to the customer within a matter of 24 hours. What that consists of on the back end, the team, so to speak, you've been to our tech center, I believe.
Yeah.
The tech center now consists of, they're connected to us, they're on the same network, the same phone system. So whether you call the corporate office or the tech center, it's seamless to the end user. So whether you want to talk to the accounting department, the order fulfillment group, or the tech support center, you call them the same main phone number. In that group right now, that consists of, I think it's larger than the last time you were here. There's 6 full-time technicians on the phone.
Wow. Yeah, there were 4 before, so that's great.
There's 6. And the 6, when we had 4, it was probably, a 3.5, 4-person position based on the demand. But when lunchtime rolls around and you have to allow, obviously, the crew to take a lunch break, then you're short. When somebody's on vacation, same thing holds true, you're short. So it's not always a 6-person demand, but the 6 people allows us to obviously have people on vacation, have people on lunch, have people out sick, and still be able to provide that service that we expect to provide our customers and our dealers. So that call comes in, it goes into a service queue, much like you'd get with a Dell computer. Your call will be answered in the order it was received. You get a live technician on the phone. They're familiar with the entire product set. We actually have a troubleshooting software platform that lists. I could literally put you at the tech center, doctor, and even though you don't know the full product set, the software lists every single chair that we have. So as soon as that customer tells the technician, it could be his first day in the job. You remember the old 7800? I have a 7800. That technician may have never seen that chair. He clicks on 7800 and he says, "What's wrong with it?" It won't power on. He clicks over to a list of issues. It won't power on. And it just basically walks him through a process of troubleshooting, diagnosing to what's wrong with the chair, and then whether he can send out a part to the customer or whether we have to send out a technician to fix it. He just walks him through the logical steps. So, and then we have the parts on the shelf. A packing slip is set up in the system the part gets picked, the part gets tested, and the part gets sent out. So it's a pretty well-oiled machine. There's a full-time administrator in that group. I don't think that was there when you were last here. There's a full-time manager of that group. There's now somebody devoted to just shipping and receiving within the operation, and there's also a full-time technician that all he does is really work on and service chairs and diagnose chair issues. So there's now 9 people in that center full-time.
Wow. Now I remember, I think Michael told me that you like your tech guys actually strip the chairs down and go through all the parts and know exactly what. So it's not just, yeah, this is the model and this is what the troubleshooting software tells us. These guys have actually taken the chairs apart and are very familiar with the inner workings of the chair too. So when you call them, they know it's not just a text on a software. They actually know the chair.
Oh, 100%. Our training starts hands-on. A technician isn't allowed on the phone normally for 4 to 6 weeks, depending on their ability to learn the new information. But they start out on the floor with a technician named Kevin Pond, and all they do is literally work on chairs, as you say, strip down, get comfortable with all the electronics, all the PCB boards, all the sensors, all the motors, and they literally see the entire system from the ground up. Because as you know, if you look at a massage chair, it may look rather simple from the outside, but it's pretty complicated inside. So when you're on the phone with somebody and they tell you that the footrest won't go up and down, that technician has seen the product, he's seen the motor that drives that, he knows how it's connected. So whether you're still in the part of your warranty that has labor, or whether it's a matter of you swapping out that leg rest motor, he has the knowledge to explain to the customer what it is that's wrong and what the steps would be to replace that.
Well, you're having to diagnose this chair, this electronic device over the phone. Are most of the issues fairly easily diagnosed over the phone? I mean, what percent would you say? You're not like, oh, I've never heard that before, or wow, we'll have to have a tech come out and look at that because I've never heard that before, or are virtually all of them fairly easily diagnosed now?
Good question. Again, anytime we launch a new product, there's always a bit of a learning curve. Even though, any product that's in development, it's usually in development for 18 months. Most of the technicians within the group have seen and touched the product when it's in development. We always usually have at least 1 or 2 prototypes before we launch it. So initially, we'll run into some of those situations where a customer will call in and we haven't seen of it or heard of the issue, and we'll have to dispatch a technician to go and work with us over the phone to truly diagnose what the problem is. But on an ongoing basis, once a product is in the field and vetted, so to speak, and it's beyond its infancy stage, very rarely do we get an issue that we haven't dealt with or know how to deal with. Out of 100 calls, out of 100 situations where we would actually have to do some sort of a repair, I bet it probably wouldn't be over 1-2% max.
Well, that's good to know. It's not just you; it's every massage chair company. I wonder about that because I don't know. It's you want to save the expense of having to send a tech out there, so it behooves you to want to know exactly what you're diagnosing over the phone. So it makes it that much easier and less expensive to take care of the problem. But I've always wondered that. I always wondered what percent of these problems can be diagnosed over the phone and correctly diagnosed over the phone. And by the sounds of it, quite a high percentage of it. So that's good.
Usually we always can diagnose it. But on the flip side of that, as you know how our service is rated, you're dealing with the end user who doesn't understand technology. So to get the proper information from the end user to be able to diagnose it is not always the easiest thing. So there's times when we don't like to shoot in the dark, so to speak. So sometimes we'd rather just send out a technician and make sure we know exactly what's going on versus just to send a part out there to have a technician come to somebody's home and go through the process thinking that the chair's going to get fixed, and we've missed based on the information the customer's given us, doesn't make anybody happy. So sometimes we'll hedge on the side of caution and just do a discovery visit with a technician so we know we're 100% before we start to send out parts.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I say, I gauge the success of a company's tech support by the number of calls I get from my customers when they're pissed off because they're not getting taken care of. And I don't get very many calls at all about the Infinity chairs, and I appreciate that. That just is, it is a burden for us, and we have our own software to keep track of customer complaints, and we have a log so we can follow up and make sure that customers are being taken care of. And very, very few people on that log are Infinity customers. So that makes me happy because I don't like having to deal with problems that aren't getting taken care of. It kind of makes me mad is what it does, because we should not be having to take care of the customer's problems. That's something the company that imports a chair should be doing. But we do have to get involved to expedite things or to make sure that our customers are taken care of. But I rarely have problems with Infinity chairs not being followed up on and taken care of. So I really appreciate that on your side. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Doctor. It's good to hear that. You know, we pride ourselves on it, and we put a tremendous effort into it. And it starts with having the parts in-house, having technicians on the phone that are knowledgeable, that know the product and they know what they're doing. Yeah. And then having the staff in place to support the product in the field. And just so you know, every day I get a queue report of how many people called in, of how long they were in queue, if we had any people hang up that were in queue waiting for a technician. So it's a top priority for us.
Oh, that's great, and I really appreciate that. What it does is it gives me the confidence to recommend your chairs, because I know that A, the chair is a good chair, B, if there's a problem, you guys will take care of it, and that gives me confidence to recommend the chair. So I appreciate that a lot. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about? I think we lost some recording time earlier on. As a matter of fact, I know we did. So we lost a few minutes, and I just maybe to review for people that for everybody that's going to watch this and may have lost some of the text. We talked about the 8500 X3 and that new model. We talked about the Escape and its popularity. We talked about the Evoque. I think the recording started again when we started talking about the Evoque, so I think most of that discussion is in place. But and then of course the good stuff is the tech support and things like that, which I think is people really want to know about. But if there's something that we've missed here and anybody has a question, they can call me and I'll gladly answer that. But if we missed some of it, I apologize. But Jim, is there anything else that you want to talk about or bring up that I haven't brought up, or anything that's on your mind that you want to share?
No, I think we covered most of it. Doctor, we really enjoy working with you because your number one goal always is taking care of your customers, which is synonymous with the goals in Infinity. So we appreciate having you as one of our top dealers. We think you're great for the industry. You bring a tremendous amount of integrity to the industry, which, as you know, is not always the case. So it's a pleasure doing business with you, and we're looking forward to a long and prosperous relationship together.
Well, thanks, Jim. That's kind of you to say that, and I feel the same way. For those that don't know, I went out and visited Infinity a couple of years ago. It was right at the beginning of hockey season. Because we took in a game, but you guys were so good to me, so kind to me. I mean, you took me out for a wonderful dinner. I got to see the Bruins and the Islanders play, and I was only there for a day. It seems like we fit in so much stuff in a day. It was incredible. But you guys are always, or when I was here, you were very, very kind to me, and I appreciate that attention. And I can see that the way you treat my customers and the way you treat me, it's pretty congruent, and I appreciate that integrity. But you guys have always been kind. I need to come out there again because I don't get spoiled rotten like that very often. So I need to fly out to Boston and come see you guys again.
You should come out, Doctor. We're in the midst. You'd be, I think, astounded if you saw the tech center, how much it's grown and how much that group has grown. But we're also in the process we're in the final stages, hopefully, of potentially moving to a new facility, a 40,000 square foot facility.
Wow.
To get our entire operation under one roof. As you know, we're a little bit fragmented right now. Even though we're on the same network and the same phone system, well, our goal this year is to try to get everybody under one roof. So if you plan a trip in the fall, hopefully at that point we'll be in a new facility that will hopefully be a much better fit for the company.
Well, I'll stay in touch with Ryan and Michael and get updates on that. I can wait until that's done, but that's pretty exciting. Is it going to be in Kingston? Is it going to be close to where you're at now?
No, it's pretty close. It's probably only about 15 miles, but it's more over towards the seacoast. In Seabrook, New Hampshire, is the facility that we're currently looking at.
Wow.
As our primary. We have a few different facilities that we're looking at. That's the one. That's our first choice if we can come to an agreement on the building.
Wow, that's exciting. Good for you guys. Congratulations. I couldn't be happier for you. And of course, if you go to Lake Winnipesaukee, say hi to Dr. Leo Marvin for me. And Bob, what about Bob? The great thing about that, and I don't think you guys appreciated this as much as I did, but our family loves that movie, What About Bob? And when I found out you guys were just minutes away from Lake Winnipesaukee, I thought I was in heaven. I just couldn't believe that there was really a Lake Winnipesaukee. Of course, there's no Dr. Leo Marvin, unfortunately, but that's pretty cool.
Our president, Michael Garceau, who passes on his regards, by the way, he actually has a house up on Lake Winnipesaukee. So if you come up for an extended stay, we'll try to get you up there.
Mr. Michael Garceau, I guess I could do the Bill Murray thing with Michael's name, and embarrass him up there. But that's pretty cool. It's beautiful country up there. It's really beautiful. I was very impressed when I was up there. But well, Jim, it was great talking to you again. Thanks for making time. I know you're a busy man, so I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to me, and hopefully we've got some good insights here that our customers and potential customers will be able to take to the bank and help them make a decision about what share to get and what company they want to buy from. And so we appreciate that very much, Jim. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Doctor. Good to see you again.
We'll see you soon.
All righty,
Bye.
take care.